has not arrived yet. He's coming up from Yorkshire and presumably he's been delayed. So Robina McNeill from the Manchester University Archaeologists site has very gallantly stepped in and agreed to give you some idea of what the European Route of Industrial Heritage is all about. And so, and then when she will then ask Felicity Goodey to unveil the plaque for us, and then we have the presentation of the small plaque. So, Robina, if you'd like to take it from there.
The European Route of Industrial Heritage, or ERIH as it's more easily known, is a project about promoting the rich industrial heritage of Europe. And there are 4 main partners in Germany, in the Netherlands, 3 actually now. There used to be one in Belgium, and the UK. In the UK there are 4 partners, of which I'm one of the partners, the University of Manchester, together with Essex, Blaenavon, and Ironbridge. And what we did in the first stage, in the feasibility stage, was to identify 60 anchor point sites across Europe, of which about 30 were in the United Kingdom. And Andrew was one of the first, the Lime Salt Works, was one of the first sites to actually sign up to this promotional event. So it's an event that really brings great benefits to all the people and is now beginning to be rolled out, not only in the UK. The Lime Salt Works is, I think, the 4th site to have a plaque now, to actually unveil a plaque. But there are some 30, so about 26 other sites to be unveiled. So it's a very exciting project, and we're hoping that it will continue in the next round of grants. I invite you to unveil the plaque on behalf of Lime Salt.
Thank you very much indeed. Before I do that, can I say how incredibly honoured I feel to be asked to unveil this plaque. I'm very excited because there's a number of reasons why I feel a kind of an affinity with this project, even though it's the first time I've ever visited it. I mean, first and foremost, many years ago I was the BBC's industrial correspondent, and so in those days I spent a very great deal of time in this area, charting very sadly the demise of our manufacturing industry. But what you might not know is that I was actually married to an ICI man. And my husband, in the days when he was an ICI man, was in fact Mr. Assison's Salts worldwide. And it used to be a joke in our family household that Daddy only put so much salt on his food in order to keep the profits of ICI. He's no longer an ICI man because, as you know, sadly there isn't much left of ICI. But when you rang up and said, would you care to unveil the plaque at Lime Salt? Well, it was totally irresistible, I have to say. But on a more serious note, I'm absolutely delighted that this project has... I have actually watched this project struggling for life. And I'm so delighted that you've got the Heritage Lottery bid. And I really hope that you will I'm quite sure you will find the match funding. I have no doubt about that because it's such an important project. And really today does mark a tremendous step forward, I think, because to have been chosen as an anchor point for the European Route of Industrial Heritage is really is a very great honour indeed, I think. It's a very great honour not only to Lime Salt Works, but actually to the northwest of England. And you're in very good company, I know, with the museum, Science and Industry, tremendous asset to us, and others. I think it's absolutely critical from not just a tourism perspective, but from an educational perspective, that we don't lose sight of our immense heritage and what could be at the root of, more at the root of our heritage than the manufacture of salt. Something which we don't even value anymore, do we? And I'm quite sure that most children have absolutely no idea of the critical part that salt has played in the history of mankind. And once upon a time, I suspect it was as valuable as gold, if not more so. There's a thought, isn't it? Yes, yes, white gold indeed. So really important that this project flourishes, and I'm quite certain it will do. and it is another marvellous asset that we have as far as tourism is concerned. Now, tourism has been a bit of a dirty word, I think, in some quarters for many, many years. It's rather been associated with rather tacky sort of attractions. At long last, I think, even the government has recognised that this is a multi-billion pound industry. And not only does it create wealth generation, and jobs, of course, but tourism, par excellence these days, is one of the most important ways in which not just children, but adults too, learn about history and learn about their heritage. We now know that an awful lot of people have their first introduction to where they've come from and how their roots have developed through being tourists, actually. So tourism and an awareness of one's heritage, one's history, from which hopefully one also learns about how not to make the mistakes of the past and how to build on the good things that happened in the past for the future, are really two very important assets that we have. And this will play a major part in that. So it gives me huge, huge pleasure both to unveil the plaque and to congratulate all of you on having got this far, because I am very well aware of what a struggle it must have been and continues to be. And I hope that everybody here today will celebrate with you this fantastic achievement, and that this will be really the final impetus into completing the funding for this project to go forward. So let's see if we can manage to unveil this plaque. It's going to be a bit. There we are, two very tall men. Excellent. There we go. Very splendid plaque, isn't it? And I have one here also to hand over to the Chairman of Trustees to say and to repeat, if I may, congratulations, many congratulations,
Thank you very much.
and thanks on behalf of everybody.